they're making robotic mosquitoes. The gods envy us because any moment could be our last, and that is beautiful.
When we were younger and there was the Save the Trees initiative type thing.
I mean, that's still kind of a thing, but yeah.
Yes, but less now, I think. And the reason I say that is because, dude, I remember, paper bags, plastic bags when we were a kid, but, paper was kind of more prominent.
Yeah.
Plastic drinking straws, plastic silverware, plastic this, plastic that.
Right.
But now, dude, we're going away from the plastic, which obviously sounds like it's a good idea.
It is.
For many reasons,
Yeah.
including the one that you just brought up, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
But now we're going back to the paper, and it's I don't know. I just kind of found it funny. Do we not care about trees anymore?
Well, you can make paper in other ways. You can make paper. I've been saying this for a while that you can make paper with hemp.
Yeah.
And it's more durable, and it's more. It lasts longer. Everything about it is better.
Yeah.
And hemp, so a tree is basically a non-renewable resource because it takes way longer than your lifetime to get back. A tree takes hundreds of years to get full, to get big. Whereas hemp, that's every season.
Yes.
You get a new harvest, and you can get so much of it.
Right.
So hemp is the best way to do that. And these people, they just don't fucking care.
Right,
Again, it's
right.
all of these issues and shit that, oh, we're going to help this, we're going to help that. It's actions speak louder than words, and if they really fucking cared, they would look at the best solution and they'd fucking do it. But they're not. It's oh, we're back to this, but you're cutting down trees.
Right.
Just like with Bill Gates cutting down trees and burying them under the ground because he says that they don't emit as much carbon or whatever. It's get the fuck out of here, dude.
It's absurd. I don't see
ridiculous.
the logic behind that at all, man. At all.
I mean, you can always fucking make some shit up.
Yeah.
About logic, about an argument.
Sure,
with
absolutely.
a lawyer or whatever. But it's fucking nonsense, man.
Dude, I heard, in relation to the Bill Gates thing, you remember how we were talking about the whole farmer situation and everything?
Yeah, he's destroyed all of that.
Yeah, dude, well, he struck again. Currently in Idaho, which, is known very well for, potatoes and stuff.
Okay.
Apparently there's a ton of potato farmers that are being forced to, abort the crop. And...
You know why?
It didn't say specifically, but it's in relation to Bill Gates, and I would assume, which is a dangerous thing to do, but that it is for the same reason,
Yeah, he wants to take everything over, allegedly. I mean, it's very clear that these individuals want to gridlock the whole farming and agricultural and food industry.
Yeah.
Put their own GMOs in this stuff, put their own whatever, and you can control, if you control the food supply, you can really very much control, the population. And that's an issue. And you can control what you just like with rats, you can control what you're putting, you can put anything you want into these people.
Yeah.
Because just like the plastic, how it comes out in your sperm.
Yep.
Anything you put in these crops, you're manufacturing these it's sketchy, man. But there was this woman from India that talked about this, and she was so anti him.
Yeah.
And she wrote a whole book on it. And she was like, this guy is I think she called him the devil or something. Because he basically, well, he bought up so much farmland. He bought up so much farmland from in America, but also, and just land in general in America, but also in India. And what he did was he went to these Indian farms, and they were doing shit naturally.
Yeah.
Like the sand was, or the soil was good, everything was good.
Yep.
And he came in and introduced some kind of like pesticide or fertilizer that had this, and this in it, and he got them all reliant on it, and seeds as well. It was like a kind of seed, and basically he sold them this false bill of goods, and it turns out that the next year those seeds aren't good anymore, so you need to buy new seeds, and you need to keep doing this and keep doing it. So now you're hooked.
Right.
And also he is like he offered like a new kind of like a statistical like mechanism, like an app almost, that determines how much gain they're getting from, like how much harvest they're getting, how much of this they're getting, how much of everything they're getting.
Yeah.
All like an analysis of everything. And he did it for, and he like offered whatever for it, or he offered it as a way for them to like help themselves. He's like, this, you guys, when you use this, you'll be able to know more about your own things.
Seems logical, yeah.
Kind of. Turns out what he did was he used all that information against them as a way to basically figure out, okay, this is how much this guy can yield, this is how much they can yield, this is how much all of them can yield, and now this is how much I can buy this place off for, because it's so grimy.
Diabolical,
and it's
bro.
Yeah, and you combine that with like the seeds or whatever it was, where they now are reliant on that, and the seeds like destroy, like it's something where it like destroys the other crops around it. It was something like really sinister.
Yeah.
And like she was not having it, and really smart woman. I forget her name, and I apologize for you listening, because I'm sure she's listening right now.
Of course.
This famous woman. But yeah, it's dude. I don't know. I don't want to talk about the Gates guy too much.
Right.
But he, man, I don't know. It's like actions speak louder than words, and his actions are like shrouded in. It's again. It's like you've got Epstein. That's like. And the Clintons, like they've got the Clinton Foundation, and like, oh, we're helping these kids, and we're helping this, and we're helping that. But really, like underneath all of that, there's a lot of shit going on that
like ulterior motives type thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It's again, it's like, yeah, here's this technology, here's this program that I made for you guys. It's gonna help you,
right,
you know, with your crops, and then you've got that. The actual motive, which was to get all of the stats and information on all of these people's farms. And now I know exactly how much everything's worth, how much I can take advantage of you, which one of you I'm going to want the most, you know, because what yields the most.
Yeah, what's more valuable.
It's like, dude, you're a piece of shit, man.
Allegedly.
Well, anybody that does something like that is despicable.
No, I would agree with you, man. That's not cool.
Yeah, but anyway, so that was the sperm.
Yeah.
So your jizz, if you fucking, you know, you jizz on your hand or on your chest or, you know, in your mouth or whatever, just take it out and just keep it there and let it dry. And you might see some fucking
sift through the little plastic particles.
Well, you asked how does it get to the sperm,
and
it's kind of simple. It's like, so everything gets everywhere, really. But so perfect example is, you ever heard that if you eat pineapple, your jizz tastes sweet?
Yeah.
There you go.
Makes sense.
You're eating pineapple, and that gets to your jizz.
Right.
So if you're eating plastic, something with plastic in it, that also gets to it.
So let me ask you a question. You may not know the answer, but I'm curious now. You're kind of like sparking an idea in my head. What would you think the answer would be? Like, do you think you have microplastics in your blood?
For sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I think it can.
Because that's a whole nother level of terrifying. Because that could cause like a clot or something. Like that's deadly.
I think you can. But I think the biggest question would be to how can you get rid of that?
Yeah.
And there are ways. So like rid of plastics / microplastics in body. There's a term for plastics, like what it converts into in your body, like the microplastic element.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How to get was all it. Rid of microplastics in body. So removing microplastics in the body is difficult and requires a commitment to limiting exposure and living a healthy blah blah blah. There are ways though. There's something that can like pull it out. They can't naturally be eliminated from the body.
Yeah, that makes sense because it's not naturally in there.
Right. However, some strategies could help reduce exposure. There is something that can help though.
Well, that's good news at least.
Yeah. Do microplastics stay in your body, or where do they stay? Scientists are finding tiny plastics were found to double the risk of stroke or heart attack. Scientists are finding microplastics in almost every part of the body, including lungs and the stomach, prompting questions about how they may be harmful. Yeah, no shit. What destroys microplastics? No. BPA, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I remember that with the water bottles.
Yeah. What the fuck? There's something, maybe in another episode.
Sure.
We'll get to it because I know there's a way to do it.
Yeah, we'll have to circle back for sure.
Yeah. Because there is a way to like kind of pull it out.
Yeah, because I mean, I would hope so. You know, the thing it makes me think of is I'm a fisherman. And so when you fish, you have to be careful about
You're a fisherman or you fish? Because you make it sound like you do it for a living.
I fish.
Okay.
I am not a fisherman professionally. Let me clarify that.
I'm thinking when you said that, I got a picture of you on like a boat.
Yeah, in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. Fishing away.
Yeah, singing some pirate songs and shit.
Right.
Right, I feel you. No,
Okay, sorry,
not at all. I wish. That would probably be a really fun job for me.
That would be cool. I thought about like the what was it with the crab fishing, Deadliest Catch or something like that?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
It does look dope, and they make killer money.
Yeah.
And you only work parts of the year.
Yeah. Well, but you're on there forever.
Yeah,
and
long,
a lot of them
long
are
times.
on a lot of drugs and shit. But fuck it, why not? You know, you could die anytime.
Hey.
Yeah, you could die.
But, yeah, of course. You could die crossing the street.
No, I mean like any moment could be your last. In that, you know, it's a high likelihood of death.
It is.
The percentage. But that goes with the great quote from Achilles. Any moment, because this woman that he was fucking right before he went to go fight this battle, she said, no, but you could die. And he said, any moment could be our last. And he said, the gods envy us because any moment could be our last. And that is beautiful. I fucking love that quote so much.
That is dope.
I love it so much. Because oftentimes, I'm sorry to interrupt your shit, but like, so often do we kind of like glorify eternity, like living forever, or even just living really, really long. Like if somebody said, like all of these crazy billionaires and, you know, multi-millionaires and Silicon Valley individuals are trying to live forever and immortality, and gods back in the day, we like glorified them because of their ability to live so long.
Right.
But in that short quote, which was so beautifully emphasized, was that, well, when you're living forever, life has like kind of like less meaning. Everything you do is less meaningful.
Right.
You know, it's like you know, you're going to have a million women, you're going to have a million this, you're going to have a million that, you're going to have like an infinite amount of these situations. So the meaning of things kind of dissipates.
Right.
Whereas if you have a limited lifespan and you know, you can die, well then that gives meaning to literally everything. And to the point where literally like any moment could be your last, and that truly is beautiful. So you
Yeah.
go about life as if any moment can be your last. You love like you've never loved before, because it very well could be the last love that you've ever loved, you
Right.
know, or the last person you've ever loved. It's I just fucking love that.
Just like adds more value.
It adds like the maximum amount of value to a life. And I think we all should go about life, you know, with that quote in the back of our heads. It's like, you know, it's just so true, you know.
I like that, man. Yeah, I would agree with you.
So you were saying, sorry.
What was I saying? Brain fart.
Sorry.
Nah,
I
you're
totally
good.
interrupted you.
You're good, man.
Something about
Fishing.
yeah.
Yes, being a fisher, not a professional fisherman. Dude, so like when you fish, you have to be aware at the very least of what you're catching and like what they eat,
Right.
because like I'm sure the reason I'm bringing this up is because of the microplastics. But so like if microplastics build up in the human body,
Yeah.
I mean we don't eat humans, thankfully.
Well,
Some
you
people
don't.
do, right?
Speak for yourself.
Fair enough. But like if you eat a certain type of fish, you have to only eat it very infrequently because like mercury levels and stuff will build up in them.
Yep.
You
And
know?
I've said this before. It's like you're not just what you eat; you are what you ate.
Yes.
So it's like if that's why people the cows and shit that eat grass-fed cows, they're different than like grain-fed and all of that, because you're not just getting what you're not just eating the cow. You're getting all the nutrients from what the cow ate. That's why pigs, in many cultures, are, you know, they're not liked and they're
Yes.
not eaten, because pigs eat literally shit. They'll eat anything, and you're absorbing all that shit.
Right.
So sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Fish and what they eat.
Yeah,
You have
so
to be aware of it.
you have to be aware because you can potentially like give yourself poisoning. Yeah, like mercury poisoning and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and what's scary to me about that is you know, like I said, we're not eating people, but very similarly,
people.
I'm not eating people. But like we use plastic every day for so many different things.
Yeah.
So I would assume, again, dangerous, but that you could have like a very toxic buildup of these plastics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that to me is terrifying. Obviously, we're not meant to have plastic inside of us. And
Yeah, no.
and it's a relatively new problem, at least new that we're aware of it now. You know, like for so long we just it was never mentioned.
Yeah, like most things,
Right.
just not mentioned.
But we run around and we're drinking out of plastic bottles. I mean, if you go out to like fast food, you're eating off of a plastic fork. You know, a lot of the foods in a fast food restaurant or whatever would be stored in plastic, served with plastic. I mean, dude, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's taken over, and it's all a
Everywhere.
scam. It was a scam from the beginning, just so that they could sell plastic to you.
Yeah.
Because unlike glass and shit, which like lives forever, you know, and doesn't decay. Plastic is just one of those things that you're throwing out and you constantly have to buy more of. It's kind of a great idea. It's a genius idea. But it's so bad. And the bullshit of like recycling
Yes.
has never really been real. And like 80% of the products can't be recycled to begin with. There's very few products that can be recycled, and even if they can be recycled, they can only be recycled like 1 or 2 times
Yeah.
before it's over.
I remember when you told me that, and I had no idea because it
Yeah.
is marketed as like infinite recyclable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's fucking nuts, man. It's really crazy.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I gotta take a leak. Alright. So this is so plastics, all that shit, man.
Yep. What's up?
No, it's just my buddy told me I was always eating while I'm eating.
Dude, very accurate.
This is so true.
Very accurate.
Alright, so this is kind of crazy.
Okay.
Let me show you this fucking shit. Actually, I was just watching earlier today, this guy from OpenAI left or was fired, and he had like inside knowledge about like the whole plan of OpenAI and what they plan on doing.
Okay.
And like the whole thing, and it is nuts, man. Like,
I can only imagine.
it's gonna take over.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally already taking over.
Absolutely. Very prominent, and it's only going to become more.
Yeah, but this guy's got information that it's just gonna change everything. It's really kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, actually, I'm gonna keep that in the back. All right, so I saw this thing on Instagram, and I saw this thing on Instagram, and it had said,
It had?
So, breaking. 10,000 human remains found on serial killer's farm, and authorities are still identifying victims.
10,000?
10,000 human remains.
Holy shit. That's
crazy, yo.
yeah.
10,000.
Like I was saying before, I know it's odd, but the serial killer shows are very entertaining, and I've watched quite a few of them.
Nuts.
That there's nothing that ever comes anywhere near that.
Yeah, no.
Not even close.
Even Bundy and fucking
No, bro.
Dahmer.
Less people have been killed in certain wars than that. I mean, like, dude,
Yeah,
by whole armies. I don't know.
Yeah, for real. Now it does say 10,000 human remains. It doesn't necessarily say 10,000 bodies.
Right. Could just be pieces.
But even 10,000, like if you're doing ligaments or whatever, you got 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's maybe 8 per person.
Yeah.
That's still, it's a lot. 1,000 people maybe.
Right.
Depending, but yeah, it's
Potentially it could be huge, man.
Yeah, so this dude.
So wait, this just happened? They just found that?
Semi recently.
Okay.
Let's see. Herb Baumeister dumped and mutilated. Jeez. I'm going to have to be weary with how I talk about this. This was June 2nd, 2024, my birthday. This came out.
So very recently, yeah.
Dumped the mutilated remains of at least 12 gay teens and young men on his $1 million property in Westfield.
Jeez.
Outside Westfield when cops finally raided his 18-acre property in Westfield, north of Indianapolis, they uncovered some 10,000 pieces of human remains, mostly crushed and burned skeletal fragments of the teenage boys and young men whom he had abducted and murdered in the 80s and 90s. Nearly 30 years after he killed himself while on the run from police.
Oh, wow.
Authorities are still sifting through the remains and identifying victims. Jeez. And that's him.
Bro looks like a straight creeper.
Kind of. I mean, I don't know.
The eyes for me, man.
Yeah, I agree. The eyes are,
very telling.
fucking New York Post with its, that's his face. It's kind of awkward, hard to do.
Yep.
But, trippy, man. That's
Bro.
some sketchy shit.
Yeah, it is.
The Hamilton County coroner announced bringing the total to 12 so far victims.
12 people still a lot. It's a big difference from what I originally thought. I mean, thankfully, but still.
Yeah, well, they say he's believed to have killed at least 25.
Oh.
I'm sure it's much higher.
Yeah, we may never know, man. I know a lot of
Look
the
at the
times
size.
when they do investigations of this nature so long after the crimes.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's so far away. It's like, plus, that's just in his backyard.
right.
Like,
And he's dead, so he'll never share anything.
Right. Look at the size of his house. He's rich.
Yeah, it's massive.
Curious to know what he did for a living.
It was like 17 acres or something you said.
Yeah, aside from killing people, I'm curious to know what he did for a living.
Yeah.
His wife, who initially blocked law enforcement from searching their property, later divorced her husband as more evidence began to pile. There's no way she didn't know. There's no way. Now, I can't say that.
Why would you block police?
Right. Exactly.
There's not much of a good reason to stop law enforcement if you're innocent and completely unconnected.
Yeah, exactly. He was 49 at the time, fled to Canada in 96 after a warrant was issued for his arrest, later fatally shot himself. Like,
Damn.
what?
Damn.
It's crazy.
So...
And he didn't admit to anything.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
That's nutty.
Dude, it's so wild, man. Like, you know, back in the 90s, being outside of the realm of heterosexual was not very common, or at least not commonly shared, you know what I mean? Wasn't widely accepted as it is today. It's just very interesting that it's actually kind of common too, at least that I've noticed that, especially like the serial killers from times ago, they commonly will go after, I don't know the political correct word. Yeah.
I was literally just thinking the same thing. I wondered if there's a correlation between even their sexual proclivities.
Yes.
You know, I wonder if there's a correlation to sociopathy and, you know, being homosexual or being now that can get real sketchy, because I'm not implying that like
not
gay people are you know more inclined to murder other people, but it typically, I don't know, it's interesting. Typically there is a reason, though. There's always a reason for why they kill who they kill.
Yep.
You know, sorry, I turned this off for a second, or I turned it back on for a second to get that video. And
you're good, bro. I have a hypothesis.
What do you got?
Excuse me. So, especially because of the time period, my initial gut feeling is that, you know, he had a wife, he had some sort of, you know, fairly organized life to...
Did he have kids, though?
That's a good question. I would venture to assume
Probably not.
probably not, but it is possible.
Well, he was rich, so maybe.
But dude, so back, like I said,
Sorry.
2 minutes ago,
Yeah.
in the 90s, homosexuality was not acceptable.
3 kids.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. That kind of goes along with what I'm going to say too, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But he had a wife, right?
Yeah.
And he's accused of killing
14.
predominantly homosexual.
At least 14.
Right. And so, dude, my thought process there is he kind of had that like facade of living a normal life,
Yeah, the
having
persona.
a wife, the kids, the house, the job, a
Yep.
normal life. But he was probably in the closet.
Very common, like you said, especially back in the day. The closeted individuals.
Yep.
There were a lot of like famous artists, painters, musicians, even that would, even like Queen and like.
Oh yeah, Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, Freddie Mercury. It took him a while
Love
to
that
finally come out.
Yes, it did.
So yeah, that was a very common thing. Is they would have wives,
Yep.
and I don't know how they would jizz, and I don't know how they would have kids if you can't. Like I could never, in
Dude,
like
I
a
know.
guy or whatever, except for that one time at band camp. But no.
That didn't count. It was only for 2 minutes, and it was on a dare, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that worked. Maybe, I guess. I mean, guys, it's kind of easy, I guess, to just jizz.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it much harder. I'm sure it'd be easier for a guy with a girl, like a guy who's gay with a girl,
yeah,
than a guy who is straight with a guy.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
it would be much easier
Yeah,
for the gay guy.
right.
For some reason, I don't know why, but
I would probably tend to agree.
because
with
I'm almost like repulsed by like the thought of that with a guy.
you. Yeah, dude.
That like kills everything with me.
Right. Instant like.
Yeah, everything. Whereas with a guy, women are beautiful, like no matter what.
Yeah.
Like every aspect of them is, their body, naked body, caressing them, nibbling on the titties and,
Oh, yeah.
getting your caressing the butt. No, I'm sorry. painting the picture here. But, yeah, just the beauty of women in general. I could see how that could,
Yes.
he could do that. But anyway, you were saying.
I mean, I was mostly done, I suppose, but like, no, I was basically just saying like, it was common for it to be hidden.
Yeah.
Especially in the 90s. It's much more widely accepted now, and rightfully so. Like, kind of like you were saying earlier with the drugs. Like, I'm not saying for people to go out and do them, but like at the end of the day, if it's not hurting anyone, and you know what I mean, like, bro, let it be.
Yeah.
And sexuality is one of those things. Like, you can be attracted to whoever you want to be attracted to. You can be with whoever you want to be with. It's not really affecting other people unless...
Except for children.
Yeah, so, like, what I'm saying there is I'm glad that it is okay now. It's much more accepted, and goddamn right, it should be. But it's awful because back in those days, like, I can only imagine those feelings of having to like hide it and cover it up, and then, dude, like at the ultimate side of the spectrum, he's probably like killing them because he didn't want his secret out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't out me.
Yeah.
It'll ruin my life.
I was just gonna say that. Well, I don't know about that. That could be a part too. Is like maybe he had sex with them and then killed them so that they didn't out him. That's a possibility. Also, typically with psychopaths and serial killers, so my thought to that was maybe that wouldn't have brought him to the point of murder if he was able to be himself.
Yeah.
In a different way, not necessarily killing them to cover it up, but maybe the freedom of being himself wouldn't have created like psychopaths are born, sociopaths are made.
Yep.
So maybe the process of him withholding all of that information and hiding all of that, maybe those were the characteristics and the elements that led to the creation of the sociopath and thus the serial killer, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
And oftentimes people, like, people will, there are commonalities. Now, I'm sure any girl watching, because girls tend to be really into this shit. I'm definitely fascinated with it, but it leaves a bad taste in my mouth typically, so I don't really like watching it that much. But some stuff is very fascinating. Like there's some stuff on YouTube that is definitely fascinating, because I love to get into the minds of them. You know, like what are they thinking? And oftentimes they're not thinking much. Oftentimes they're just like their answer is because I felt like it.
Yeah,
because
I wanted to. Yep.
Psychopaths are way more inclined to just do something on, you know, instinct.
Like a whim.
Yeah, on a whim.
Yeah.
Whereas sociopaths and others tend to be more premeditated.
Yes.
Yes. It's very interesting. But typically a commonality with the murder victims, or there are commonalities with the murder victims in association to the murderer. Like if it's like mothers, maybe he had something with his mother, you know, that he's, you know, and if it's like gay people, he's really gay and he's like pissed. There's a reason, you know, he's pissed off at maybe the world or at something, or he's killing them because internally he's gay, but he's like kind of like pretending that he's not or something.
Or he could be jealous that they're out and he's not.
Yeah,
like,
that's a great point too. Or he's repulsed by them because he's convinced himself that he's not, so he hates them. I think that you're probably more spot on with that though too. Could be all of that.
Very well.
Definitely super interesting. We should have a whole episode on psychopaths and sociopaths.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe do a little bit more research on that. And I mean,
I would agree with that.
I can't say I'm pretty well researched on that, but I definitely psychologically, I've definitely done a pretty deep dive on the science of it. It's very fascinating.
It is.
But it's some trippy shit, man.
Dude, it really is, man. It really is.
But, you know, the biggest psychopath or serial killer in the world is, allegedly, is the Canadian government. Because they've euthanized more people than that have died naturally.
That's intense for me, man.
So they've, you know, and they continue. They haven't been stopped yet, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like, obviously, there's better answers there, you know? Like, instead of funding that program, like, why don't we fund better mental health stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, them. Well, we're not funding it, but they are.
Right.
But yeah, I agree.
Because, like, bro, I feel like, and I don't know, obviously, because I'm still here, but, like, it's a moment in time that can go one way or the other very easily.
What do you mean?
Well, I just mean like
making the decision to kill yourself?
To actually do it in that moment, you know, because those type of people, I would assume, are like, it's got to be similar to many feelings where
on
like
a whim almost.
You've got the feelings in you all the time. You deal with them very regularly, but to actually sit down and like act on them,
different thing.
Yes. Yeah. And like if, you know, there's better support or I don't have the answer.
Yeah, a better environment.
Yes. Right,
you know?
right.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah, if only they put more money into providing better environment and, like you said, psychological help, for sure it would all change. But I don't think that's what certain individuals care about.
Yeah.
Organs, money, maybe
the almighty dollar.
And some people are I would argue that a large amount of psychopaths or sociopaths would gravitate towards that profession of euthanasia because they get to kill people for free. It's literally a license to kill.
Yes.
That
no punishment.
That's terrifying.
That is pretty
it's
terrifying.
Like the ultimate, like, it's like the perfect job for, for a serial killer.
Dude.
Crazy.
That's a great point. That is a very good point.
And if I were a sociopath or a serial killer and I wanted to create the perfect means to kill people, I'd create that.
Right.
You know, I would make that
It's just too easy.
I'd make euthanasia legal, and I would be the director of it or whatever, and I would make sure that I have to oversee everything to make sure everything's right, and they don't, there's no issues.
I get to push that button, guys. Only I can do that.
Well, really, they press the button, so there's like 6 buttons that they have to press.
I have no idea.
It's like, are you sure? And then there's like 6 of them, I believe. And then the other one, it's like, it's always like, I believe it's like, I saw a whole thing on it. It was a while ago though, but it was just trauma. It was terrifying.
That is pretty terrifying.
It's like, what the fuck, man? What are we doing? What are you doing? Nuts.
I can't believe it's actually legal, man.
Well, yeah, and it's like we've got enough issues with fertility. We just talked about plastics. Like,
I know.
We've got enough issues with fertility. Like, we need more people, not less people.
Right.
They say that, like, population, we're running out of space for people, but you can fit every single person in the world in Texas. It was either everyone in the world or everyone in America in Texas.
Damn. Yeah, Texas is huge, but yeah.
The world is huge, man.
For sure. That's pretty impressive.
And that's not accounting for, all the underground bases and all the aliens inside the world.
Yeah, right.
Middle
Over
Earth.
in Antarctica.
Yep, inside the center, in the center of the Earth.
Dude, that's pretty wild.
It's crazy, man.
I was just gonna say something, then I brain farted again.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, you're good, dog.
Sorry about that.
That's how it goes. You gotta go with them thoughts when you have them. They pop in,
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. So we've got philosophical questions that we could go for. I wanted to bring up another thing.
What's up?
So I mentioned this before, how the future of warfare is going to be like drones versus drones and robots versus robots.
Yeah.
Like literally China robots versus Russia or US robots. It's just going to be robot versus robot warfare.
Which is kind of cool, man. At least if it won't take human life.
Yeah, you have that element, but also, first of all, so much money you can now steal from taxpayers to put towards this, and that's your excuse is, well, you don't have to kill any innocent people. Well, guess what? I don't want to fucking be in this. I don't want to bomb these people anyway.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be fighting these wars to begin with.
Right.
Robots or not. That's not an excuse. These people shouldn't. Our soldiers shouldn't have to fight and potentially die in wars that we shouldn't be in to begin with.
I agree. I agree.
Big Brother, the fucking asshole of the planet, is putting his dick into everything. Like, bullying all of these other countries. It's like, come on, man. And I am like, I fucking love America. I'm so thankful to be in America.
Same.
In a place that I live. I've got a fucking, you probably can't see it, American flag on me right now. I fucking love America. My grandfather served in the war.
Yep.
He was in the Navy. He was on one of them gunships.
Damn.
He was in one of those.
Was he really?
Those cannon things.
Yeah, like the little turret or whatever.
Dude,
that's wild.
Nuts. But it's just like, dude, it's I actually have his peacoat. I showed you that, didn't I?
I don't think so.
It's in the back of my my whip. I always keep it back there.
Oh, I didn't realize that was your grandfather's.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that.
He wore that he had that in war.
No shit.
So cool.
I thought you just got it like surplus or something.
Well, it looked new too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So those things are so durable. I mean, there were some. It's clearly been through some shit, and it fit me perfectly.
That's fire.
It was really cool. But so China's got these drones now.
Is that a person inside of that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it looks like it.
There's nobody in there currently, but there's definitely room for.
I thought that was an arm. That's probably just like the seat or whatever,
yep,
with the seatbelt going across it.
Yeah, and that's like the shift thing or whatever.
Okay.
That's my dick. Sorry, we'll go to.
Whoops.
But they've got armies of these things, like fleets of them.
Wow.
And these things can fly around. Honestly, it's not that high. It's not that impressive compared to other, you know, like American shit. Like how
Yeah.
I described, this guy had a handful of something, and like 20 feet away were mannequins of men, like 5 mannequins,
Yep.
and he threw it, and 5 of them came out like these tiny little, like almost like hornet-sized drones, and they hit into the heads of all of the mannequins and exploded.
Yeah.
Like that is fucking terrifying.
That's some cool
warfare.
shit.
And if you can, and I think I mentioned this before, but if you can turn these things, you create like a hive and you drop it into the center of a city or something, or a
Right.
country, and if it can replicate, they can literally just
Whatever they want.
dude, terrifying shit.
Yeah, that is pretty bad.
But this is very much the future of of warfare. It's going to be drones,
Yeah.
just everywhere. It's really going to be nuts.
Dude, did you see like some of the footage that's currently like actually happening? Like not even talking about the future, like this is happening.
You mean like the thing with the gun on it?
Well, yeah, but that's
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
So there's quite a few things as of late that you can see kind of where it's heading already because it's happening.
Okay.
Specifically, yes, that dog that has like the gun mounted on his back. But what I was gonna say is, dude, they in like Russia and Ukraine right now, like the Ukrainians are taking drones and they're putting grenades on them. And then
Yeah.
they're literally flying over the battlefield, finding like a soldier in a foxhole, and they're dropping the grenades on him.
Wow.
Not only that, dude, they're so precise and accurate.
You want more? Help
No,
yourself.
thank you though. That they can like fly over like their tank and drop it down like the air hole.
Oh.
Like literally, like dude, almost the exact same size, but it's just small enough to fit in the hole, and it fucking goes in the hole, and then you'll see like the concussion go off.
Damn.
And one step beyond that is this I haven't seen videos of, but apparently there are videos of it. I just haven't noticed them or witnessed it personally. But dude, so it's well known that these drones are flying around with like grenades and guns and yada yada yada.
Rockets,
Dude,
lasers,
all kinds of fucked up shit. But no, dude, like there's footage of like the Russian soldiers seeing the drone, knowing they're about to die, and they'll like,
Oh man.
themselves.
Yeah, that sucks.
And
It just, man, war is fucking hell, man. It's ridiculous.
it is.
It's all nonsense, especially when Russia, and I'm not trying to get into like politics and
No,
shit,
me
but it was
neither.
very, like, from the beginning, Russia made it clear that, like, don't touch the Donbass, not Ukraine.
Yep.
Can't do Ukraine. And we've talked about this before too. It's like if if Russia or any country took over Mexico right next to us, we would not let it happen.
No.
We would not let it happen at all. Because you can't have a potentially enemy country that literally has territory right next door to you.
Yeah, that like touches
That
us.
could throw a rock into your country. That you can't have that. And they said that fucking 60 something years ago.
Yeah.
They made it very clear that like this is the line.
Right.
And it's not that hard to not. It's there's no point. There's no need to do that. There's no need to have Ukraine join NATO. There's no positive for anybody, except for the U.S. in regards to war.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's obvious. It's like it's very clear what the plans are, and through the actions of these individuals in Russia from the beginning, like almost daily, is trying to negotiate like a treaty.
Yeah.
From the beginning, they've been trying to negotiate. They almost did early on, but then Biden talked to whatever the fuck the guy is, the Prime Minister of the UK, Bo something.
Netanyahu, right?
No,
Or, no, I don't know.
no.
That's what popped into my head.
So he was talking to the Prime Minister of the UK, and then that Boris Johnson.
Okay.
Boris. And then Boris went to maybe the Ukraine or something. I think it was Ukraine, or talked to Zelensky, and then all of a sudden, no treaty, nothing. No agreements, no anything. We're just straight up war. So
Yeah.
clearly, maybe he was like, "Yo, we're gonna give you mad money, or we're gonna, we're gonna back you, or you can't.
Right.
You literally can't fucking back down." Blah 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 blah. Regardless of what was said, the actions were they were going to sign a peace treaty, and then after Biden talked to Boris and Boris talked to Zelensky, war
Washed.
was inevitable, or was imminent, or was now upon all.
Yeah.
Russia has been
That
constantly trying to not do this. It's very much one-sided as to who is pushing
Yeah.
nonstop.
I hear you.
I would, it'd be great if I don't. We shouldn't have our hands in anybody else's cookie jar.
Yes. I've said that for so long, dude.
Yeah,
I agree.
We've got enough cookies of our own. We don't need anybody else's fucking cookies.
Right.
We're in so much debt for taking other people's cookies.
Word.
And establishing, boundaries around their cookie jars,
Yeah.
to keep going with the metaphor. It's ridiculous.
Right. No, it is, man. It definitely is.
It's like, to what point, to what end,
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The unfortunate part there is I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. I unfortunately think it's only going to get worse. But I shouldn't say that because that's negative, and like we've said before, like you got to speak positivity into life.
Yeah, into the ether. There's nothing wrong with speculating, though. I think it's gonna get way cooler. It's gonna be, because it's fucked up when you watch humans get murdered or die, or like you described, he did that to himself.
Yeah.
But like, there might even be like some pay-per-view of fucking
shit.
of like wars going on, robots versus robots, drones and shit. It's gonna be awesome to look at.
That would be interesting.
It would be so cool. And you might even be able to like play. I think that's why there's so much interest in the government with kids growing up, controlling these machines and the drones and the characters in Call of Duty.
Yep.
Like, they're going to persuade our country and other countries, like, they're going to persuade them, incentivize them in some ways to control these devices.
Yeah,
it's going to be a battlefield. It's going to feel like a game, look like a game. I'll be able to live stream myself on Twitch fighting other, like literally controlling U.S. drones or whatever, fighting, Russia or Chinese drones or whatever.
Dude,
like,
that's intense.
It would actually be pretty fucking awesome.
It would be cool.
In a terrifying way.
Yes.
But that would be next level shit. Like, instead of being drafted, like, you can just purchase a game that gives you direct connection to a drone of your choice.
That would be cool.
Thing of your choice, and now you're literally fighting in real time against these things.
Without endangering your life.
Without endangering the lives of yourselves or others, potentially.
Right.
But then again, who knows? Maybe, because there was a Black Mirror episode about something similar to this where...
Great show.
Yeah, great show. Did you see? How much of it have you seen?
I still haven't seen the whole.
Fucking guy.
I know.
Great episode was... It was a war episode. Main character was this black dude, and they basically like implant something into you, and so there were the soldiers, and they were ridding the whatever country or population or region of these creatures, like these scary looking fucking creatures,
like alien type things.
Yeah. And they were murdering all of them, these Marines and soldiers, and And one day, something happened to the main character, and he got like hit by like a bomb, or oh, the creatures developed some kind of thing that kind of knocked out their trans like mechanism that they had, because it also gave them the ability to like communicate with each other and stuff like that.
Okay.
Many like layers of like technology and stuff. But so it knocked out his shit, and he also got knocked out. And then when he woke up, he was in a room, the same room where these creatures were, like a den of creatures.
Oh, jeez.
He woke up, and it was a woman with her kids, and he killed the father, and like
Okay.
well he killed the creature, and it turns out it was
people.
They were people. So
Wait.
turns out that the stuff that they injected into them, or whatever, or the contacts, or whatever the fuck it was, the Neuralink, it projected images of monsters.
Yeah.
When really they were just humans.
And they were killing each other.
They were, yeah. They basically made the soldiers, made it easier, because it made it easier for them to kill these things because they thought they were monsters.
For sure.
So it was literally complete eradication of a whole species of people.
Damn.
Or a whole, conglomerate of people.
Yeah.
It's genius, really, like
Very smart.
in a psychotic way. And this guy, he like went nuts. He's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're people, you're human beings. And they're like, yeah, this is like, they tricked you. So what these people created, these like creatures, but really humans, they created these devices to kind of make them see who they really are.
Yeah.
And so this guy developed an attachment to the woman, of course.
Right.
And, gangbangs with the kids. And it was beautiful. And then, they turned off and on the creature thing. So we had some bestiality.
Freaky, bro. Love it.
Yeah. But yeah, then
man.
he ended up getting rescued.
Yep.
And he went back to HQ, and they asked him, like the psychiatrist asked him, like, what did you see? How did you feel about blah, blah, blah? Basically, he knew that the guy woke up to what really happened. And the guy asked him, what the fuck, man? These are human beings. What are we doing?
What the fuck's going on here?
And the guy was straight up with him. He said, it makes it easier. It was just a good idea because it makes it easier for these people, for the soldiers, to take out these people.
Yeah, of course.
Because you think that they're monsters.
Yep, takes the humanality or whatever way.
And and the guy was like, "Fuck that! I am not doing this. This is terrible. Terrible.
That is terrible.
And it's literally just like manslaughter. So so then
Damn.
I don't want to like ruin the whole thing, but basically they just zapped his mind out, and he was just like done.
Straight zombie.
Yeah, he's zombified. He was like, they like dropped him off at his house or something, and he was like saluting for like days.
Oh, jeez.
He's just stuck there.
Yeah.
But dude, we could do that today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
It's like, that is nuts. But it's so great. It's such a great idea. And another one was bees. It was about bees, and basically, and this is a thing today.
What's that?
We're running out of bees.
Oh, I know. I've heard.
Bees are like almost extinct.
And they say if bees are extinct, then we're gonna. Or
Everything,
right?
yeah, because of the system. The whole ecosystem.
Yep.
Everything is, bees pollinate
the flowers, and
which are eaten by this, and it's the whole system, the ecosystem.
Yeah, man.
So, and this is a real thing today. And speaking of Bill Gates, they are making, they're making robotic mosquitoes.
Yeah.
They make robot mosquitoes, and their like reasoning for it is so that basically, because mosquitoes can give out disease and shit like that.
Of course.
Their excuse is that, okay, well, we're going to make this kind of mosquito, and it procreates with other mosquitoes, and it basically gets rid of this disease.
Yeah.
But really, all you have to do is inject whatever disease you want to create to hit the whole population.
Yep.
And these mosquitoes, boom, now you have whatever disease these motherfuckers just programmed into this mosquito.
Right.
That's fucking terrifying.
It
and
is.
totally possible.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
even if you're doing it for the right reason and you inject some kind of good thing, the mutated gene of that could very well become the opposite of what you made. You know, the road to hell is often paved with good intentions.
Yeah, man.
But for the bees scenario, and this was a great episode also, was bees were like done, so they made robot bees.
Yep.
Which MIT literally has done today. They made robot bees to basically pollinate, you know, all of this stuff. But this guy had like tens of millions of them, and there were like main hives in like every country and state and town and all of this. And the thing was that somebody found a way to hack the hives.
Yep.
And so anybody on, it's like a specific website, people could choose like who they hated most to kill, and the bees would kill that person.
Shit.
And anybody, so it was like the most popular person to be killed, that would happen. Nobody knew it was bees at first. And towards the end of it, the FBI and all of them figured it out, or this was like in England, but they figured it out that like if you vote for this person, that person is gonna, and the more people that watched it, it just fed it.
Yeah.
Now eventually, and it was crazy because the bees, they could get under doors,
Yeah.
they could get in window, they could get anywhere.
Come down the chimney, anything, yeah.
Anything, like
yeah.
everything.
So you're like not safe anywhere.
And they're like robotic, so it's tough, man. Unless you have something specifically for that, like an EMP or, you know, but even that, you use an EMP now, unless it's like an emitting EMP, then you can't use your phone or anything else.
Right.
But unless it's an emitting EMP that continuously goes off, you use it once, more are going to come.
Yeah.
You know, you might have gotten rid of the million here or the hundreds of thousands here,
Right.
but more are going to come. You're talking about unlimited amounts of these things.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, in the end, spoiler alert, in the end, the last computational thing after it killed like the last guy was all of the people that voted to kill someone. Mm-hmm. It literally showed all of their names, and it was like millions of people. Now all of the bees' nests woke up and killed everyone.
Oh, damn.
Killed everyone that elected to kill.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it was like a karma thing.
Right.
Such a great episode. Dude.
Interesting,
Dude, Black Mirror is so sick, man.
It is.
But nuts. But again, dude, the thing about Black Mirror was they took like a lot of time off, and I don't even know if they're gonna make another one because
Yeah, it's been so long.
Because they said that everything all of this has come true. Like, it's been so accurate, like
Yes.
too accurate, to the point where it's like we don't even really, you know, it's getting too close to
Right.
reality.
Right. Maybe we ought to back off.
Yeah, it's really crazy. There's so many great episodes. That would actually be a good episode as well, is to kind of talk about these different, because each one is so thought-provoking.
Yeah.
And it's just so closely linked to what's happening now and the future of all of this shit. It's mind-boggling. But that would be, how trippy would that be if, I mean, that's like, that could be a movie. Is not the last two things I said, but you buy a game and you've got war going on, and you can literally, like in VR, you can literally use one of the fucking either like a big robot or
like a mech suit or something.
Yeah, anything, drones, and when you die, you just get a new one.
Right.
You know, and you just keep. It's like you're literally participating in the war, and that would make you hate the other country even more.
Why do you say that?
Because you're literally now you're tribal.
Oh.
You're trying to kill the other team.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like that
You're
motherfucker.
involved.
You're way more involved.
Yep.
You're directly involved.
Yeah.
Like not directly, but like you're closer.
Yeah.
You're closer to the war than
Way
you would.
closer.
Yeah, almost directly, just not in the flesh.
Bro.
That would be a hell of a fucking game, though.
It would. And you know what's wild about that too is you know, typically when you join the military or something, you have to go through like training,
Yeah.
like extensive training
Yeah.
and all this and all that, right? Dude, all of our, you know, from a certain year or like age of child on up, like they all have been practicing for forever, you know,
Right.
basically like half their lives or whatever, you know, dude?
Yep.
So they would automatically just be like,
They're already prepared.
yeah, very, very prepared and skilled in it without
It's-
ever having done it a day in their life.
Yeah, man. It's fucking trippy, man.
Yeah.
And it really just makes you wonder where we're headed, like with VR and AI, and
Bro.
like I showed you that video of that thing that you can walk on.
Yes.
That was so sick, man. It's incredible, and it just makes you wonder, like, and even the guy who was sitting on a chair, and
Yep.
it was moving him on the chair,
Yeah, yeah.
like, just nuts.
Bro, have you ever played one of those like fully immersive?
Not really.
No.
What
haven't
What are you
either.
talking about? Like at the places?
Yeah. No, me neither.
I was in like some roller coaster thing, kind of, but it was it didn't move much at all, just like up and down.
Word.
I would love. California, I hear, is like the best place for all of those, or like Disney World or whatever the fuck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have like super high tech ones, but in New York there aren't many.
There's
I
not
like-
really places for it.
Not really.
I
But
know.
I would love. Joe Rogan talked about this one where you're in like these suits and you have haptic feedback vests.
Yes.
Where in the front and in the back, and it kind of like zaps you a little bit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he said you can get like different weapons, and one of them you're in like this mansion, and basically it's like a zombie mansion, and so like a zombie will touch you in the back, and you can feel it. And you're like,
Fuck.
whoa, and you fucking shoot the zombie. And he had a shotgun.
Yeah.
And you're with other people in this room,
Fuck yeah.
and you have these things on, and you can actually walk around, and it projects. You know, you're in this other place, dude. That's incredible. And I've been saying forever that
wanna
that's
play.
gonna be here.
Yeah.
Like pretty soon. You know, this couch will be able to like fold up into the wall or disintegrate into the wall or something, and I'll have this thing here
Yep.
where first we'll be able to sit here and put on. Whew, that was close.
Yeah.
We'll be able to like take something, or at the very least put on some like VR goggles with earbuds, and we'll be able to. It'll just be. And we'll
Right.
be in the movie with like a haptic feedback vest.
Yeah, dude.
In a movie, you know?
That'd be
Like,
fire.
yeah, war, you can feel, you get hit here, or a glance
Yep.
from like bullets, and you're in it, and you're like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
It would be nuts, man.
It would be.
And then the next step from that would be like actually you are the main character in the movie, and you're walking around in the movie, and you have stories in the movie, kind of like a game but a movie.
Yeah.
So you have that thing where you can walk around like right here, or you're in a chair or something,
Yeah.
and the chair can move around, you know, like on this platform thing that which is incredible. I've never heard or seen of anything like that.
Bro.
And I'll put a link or something to show you what it looks like. It was in one of the other episodes that I showed, but it's just so incredible. But that's it. I'll be able to like stand here, or both of us could stand here with the VR thing on, and will be able to walk around in this movie with guns or whatever.
It'd be so dope.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah,
It
dude.
changes everything.
Absolutely.
Changes everything.
I mean, dude, I remember the first time I played an Oculus Quest. And I mean, you want to talk about impressed. Maybe I'm easily impressed. But nonetheless, I mean, dude, that headset is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, it feels like you're there and all you have on is goggles.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what's commercially available to the public. Now, let's talk, like you were saying, you know, some really good high quality equipment. It could potentially be very, very immersive, dude.
Dude, it's nuts.
Insane.
And they've got, so like this is like the most realistic game yet. And this is not VR or anything. This is like a multiplayer, so it's not that great looking. The single player thing looks so cool.
Yeah.
But it's literally like, it's super realistic looking. Like everything looks.
It feels like I'm playing VR without the headset. This is so loud.
Did you hear him?
Yeah.
It feels like he's playing VR without the headset.
That's awesome. And that headset is everything, bro.
Right.
Turning up motion blur.
So there are different. Now this game
It's
is.
supposed to be loud, it's fucking firearms.
This game is called.
Unless they have a silencer on.
The
Put
fuck
cans
is
on,
it?
they're a little quieter.
Damn it.
You should be watching this stream with ear protection on. Are your eyes and ears not on?
I don't remember what it's called, but
Yeah.
it's I think it's like body cam. I think that's what it's called,
Okay.
and it's
we've encountered our first chicken.
it's crazy
Nobody
because
My
body
drone
cam.
pilot is getting a lot better though.
So here we go. Let's see if we can get like a quick thing on it. Oh, is this a trailer?
Nice.
Yeah. It was better when it did like a single player thing because
Yeah.
it looked like you were like a cop, but this could be cool. Oh, what? That's
Jumping
like
out of the airplane.
yeah. Oh, like look at that, man!
Bro.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Shit is wild.
Yeah, dude. I want to play.
Yeah.
Looks
it's,
great.
It's out.
Oh, is it currently
yeah,
out?
but it's only for Steam, so I don't quite. It's gonna be tough for me to fucking figure out how to get,
Yeah.
but it looks so realistic.
My brother-in-law's got the Steam Deck, but I don't know if that would do it justice, man.
I think it would work,
Yeah.
but I want to show like a better video of it. But it just looks so fucking real, man. Let me see if I can find something else. But it's just nuts. It's really crazy. So you've got like the graphics are just incredible.
They are pretty damn awesome, bro.
This is just multiplayer. Single player looks so real. And it was scary because it's like there are bad guys and you're like a good guy. And it just looked so real. Whereas multiplayer isn't really as... It even seems scary though because like, you know how there are some games where like, it's not that interesting watching somebody play?
Yes.
And it's not as like scary. Like when I was younger, I played... the fuck was it called?
Not Resident Evil, right?
No, it was, what the fuck was it called? Rainbow Six.
Oh, yeah.
I was so young. I played it with my dad,
Yep.
and it felt so real.
It did.
Like and it was mainly because I was young, but like also my dad felt the same thing.
Yeah.
So that was like the beginning of that immersive kind of thing.
Yes.
It felt so real. I was like afraid. I was afraid to go through each door, and I was afraid. I was so scared.
Yeah, man.
And so I've yet to really see that happen. Now, granted, like some games online are kind of like that. Like if you're first playing it, you know, you get scared and you hold the trigger down because you know like it feels so real. So you waste your whole magazine.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like This game was very much like that, and it was so nice to watch, even watch somebody else play.
Yes.
And it was so clear that like they thought it was real, and they were afraid because they would just exhaust the whole magazine
Yeah,
and
bro.
like freak out because it's like
really feel like they had to kill him, so they
Yeah,
just like straight mag dump
yep,
on him and like
and
panic shoot.
Yeah, and the guns are loud, and it's like real. You know?
Man.
Trippy shit. It's man, it's nuts.
Oh, dude, I can only imagine because like my relation to that is I remember being a young child, not a young child, but like younger, and playing like Resident Evil or a game of that sort.
Resident Evil was creepy.
Like late at night.
That was like
lights
the best.
off.
That was
you know
like
what I
the
mean?
first like really scary game.
Dude, it was great.
Yeah, I remember playing same thing, lights off.
Yeah.
Dude, nutty.
Shit was creepy.
It was very creepy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Before all of like the weird fucking giant alien things, it had just the simple like people walking around.
Yes.
And like the dogs or whatever. And
Yes.
that was it was real. But dude, we're just so close.
Yeah, the future is definitely like upon us.
Nigh.
Yeah.
It is nigh. It's yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Should be dope, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So am I, man. So am I.
All right.
That
Wanna,
haptic, yeah, that haptic feedback vest, though, man.
Yeah.
I have a buddy who said that he has played with one.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he went to like a Comic-Con or what it was, but he went to some like convention and he got to like play with the full thing, dude. I don't know if he had the pad that you walk on and all that, but
yeah, well, that's brand new.
Right. I know that's very new, but this is pretty recently
Here,
though.
let me look up that pad actually. So
Yeah.
keep going.
But dude, he said like after
Holotile floor. That's what it is.
What's it called?
Holotile floor.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring it up and show the fucking world.
Yeah, he's a super big gamer.
It's Disney too.
Really?
Yeah. Fuck, hold on.
But no, dude, he said after playing that, it was like, playing anything else is just like, it's like incomplete. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's nutty. So, let's see. We got a bunch of people watching. But this, I want to see like the trailer of it. Okay, here we go. Oh, it says something went wrong. What the oh, I have to just restart. Mind if I?
Yeah, hit it, bro. Hit that shit.
So trippy, and it's a Disney thing, so it's only gonna get crazier.
Yeah, dude, Disney has changed a lot though in the like past couple years. I don't know, did they get bought out or what's going on?
Maybe
like,
I think they got bought by Google.
So,
okay.
I can walk on this
Can I hit that one more time?
Yeah, man.
omnidirectional floor in any direction I want.
Weird.
It will automatically
So
do
trippy.
whatever it needs to have me stay on the floor. And what's amazing about this is multiple people can be on it and all walking independently.
And it's
They can
tiny.
walk in virtual
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
reality.
big.
Yeah.
Because
So many other
you can be in a
things.
tiny
Where are
spot,
you hoping this tech ends up?
but
You
you'll
know,
never fall off
imagine
Right,
because it'll
right.
constantly
people being
direct
in a
you
room, being able
back.
Where you need to go.
Yeah.
somewhere else collaboratively and moving around, doing sightseeing.
So
So
incredible,
weird,
man.
dude.
And look at the chair.
It'll be
You can be on a
in
chair.
service of people having
What?
fun.
Yeah.
Well, Laney, this job.
Applications for
Look
this
at
type
that,
of
man.
technology,
Dude.
and we
So
don't know
That's fucking cool.
it's nuts. So
yet. I can walk on this.
You gotta show 'em.
Omnidirectional.
Yeah, hell yeah.
so check this out. This is the the Holotile floor from Disney, probably Google now. So, but this is gonna be epic in like Disney World and shit like that. Watch
So,
this.
I can walk on this omnidirectional floor
Look
in
at that.
any direction I want. It will automatically do whatever it needs to have me stay on the floor.
Nuts.
And what's amazing about this is multiple people can be on it and all walking independently. They can walk in virtual reality and so many other things.
So where are you hoping this tech ends up?
You know, imagine a number of people being in a room, being able to be somewhere else
Fucking trying to hold it.
collaboratively and moving around, seeing, doing sightseeing. Imagine theatrical stages that might have these embedded in them so that dancers can do amazing moves.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
me, but
That'd be trippy.
really good dancers. So there's just so
Objects.
many applications for this type of technology, and we don't know yet
And-
where it'll be used.
Well, it's official. I think you probably have one of the coolest jobs.
Yeah,
And the
I think
chair.
you're right.
Look
It
at
gives
this.
me an amazing opportunity
That
to
is
use
incredible,
these
man. You
inventions
could
that
be
I've
on a
made
chair
in
playing a
service of
game,
people
a race
having
game,
fun.
Well, Lanny,
anything.
it's been great catching up with
Yeah, that's
Anything.
gonna be wild, dude.
Dude, mind blowing.
I mean, you think about the possibilities too. They're
Fucking endless, man.
they pretty much are, dude. I was just thinking of like in movies even.
That's what I mean.
You
That's
know?
the main, to me, that's the biggest, aside from video games, that's the easiest way, the biggest draw. Like I was saying, if we're in some movie, you know, and we're the main characters or I'm the main character, all I need is this much room.
Yeah.
And I can literally walk through the movie and it'll change, it'll direct me, pull out a gun or something, and I'm in the movie. But really, we could both sit down in chairs right here, you know, with these VR things on, or literally right here with these VR things on. You could put the couch on the fucking thing.
Right.
And it would be better with chairs though. You know, like comfortable chairs that don't really sway.
Right.
really
They got to
too
be like
much.
sturdy, pretty
Yeah.
good, and
So you're sitting on a chair, you're playing this, you have either a controller or a gun or something, or like a fucking driver's seat.
Yep.
And you're driving and the thing actually moves over and moves over. You could have like a tilt for the seat also.
Right.
You know, because I'm sure they'll come up with gaming chairs specifically designed for that.
Yep.
It'll have like a tilt and you move forward and back. It's just, dude, or like, dude, it's just nuts, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
incredible. And it introduces, because for the longest time, like video games, now the Oculus that you talked about,
Yep.
that is revolutionary for, I guess what was it, the Wii was kind of the first thing that really revolutionized getting more in shape. Not being as much of a bum and sitting down.
Yep.
You know, it introduced some exercise to the whole, the gaming industry. VR is very much that as well. Like those places that we talked about, you go to, you got the VR, you get a lot of exercise from that.
Absolutely.
Like, and that's like I said, the best way to truly exercise and get in shape is to do something that you find fun. You know, if you're playing and exercising at the same time, you're getting the best of everything. You're getting exercise, it's healthy, and you're playing. So it felt like nothing, but you just burn mad calories and you're in good shape. And you have this vest on. I might even put like a 30-pound weight also.
Yeah, to like.
So
Yeah.
have more of a workout or whatever, and it might even be more realistic.
Yeah, like simulate your backpack or something. If you're
Yeah,
in like
yeah,
a
like
shooting
army
game.
kind of
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Even though they carry more like 100 plus pounds.
They
in
do
their
carry a lot of weight.
rucksack and shit. But it's just so that walking that Holotile floor.
Yeah.
That would be like the next level of, like, you know, kind of immersive yet getting in shape kind of a thing.
Word.
You know, because
Word.
you get in shape. You're gonna be running. You're gonna be walking through all this hours and hours and hours of
Yes.
standing and walking, and you can do some sitting stuff too. But it's like you're gonna want to walk through these worlds and shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, dude. Like you said with the Wii, the Switch, they're all awesome, super fun, and they don't even like crack the surface of that, dude.
No, not even close.
Not even close, bro. Yeah, when it comes commercially available, I'm gonna have to get one. That's all I know.
Oh, for sure. It's nuts.